Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Thursday, the 29th day of March 2024. It is Holy Thursday, and as you can see, we are already set up and ready for the Mass of the Lord's Supper this evening. According to ancient tradition, there is only one liturgy on this day, and it takes place in the evening, on a Thursday evening. Generally an odd day for an evening liturgy, although some places that still do have evening Mass still would have perhaps a Mass on a Thursday evening. But for most people, Thursday evening, why that day of all days? Again, the third day before Jesus is placed into the tomb to be raised, according to Scripture, he shares this last meal with his friends to, again, give the great gift of the Eucharist so that we may continue his mission, we may continue his message, we may continue to be the light for the world that Christ is for us. And so no morning Masses today, no Masses at all today until the evening when the community is asked to gather for this Mass of the Lord's Supper. We just concluded with Stations of the Cross with the Franciscan School, our last day before Easter break, so half day today. It's also a half day for preschool today too here. So what are we supposed to do with today? Well, again, today basically is a day of patient waiting until the events of the Triduum begin. It is also the 40th and final day of the Lenten season, and they're putting up the new banners behind me to put for Holy Thursday. 40th and final day of the Lenten season today. Again, when does Lent end? Well, sometime this afternoon, sometime this evening, perhaps sometimes before the first chords of Lift High the Cross, or whatever the opening hymn is for the Mass of the Lord's Supper. There is no grand conclusion of the Lenten season, as there shouldn't be, because our focus is now on the Triduum. Our focus is now on Easter. Again, we move into Lent perhaps with a little bit too much fanfare with Ash Wednesday, and again, Lent becomes such a great focus, for us. But remember, Easter's 50 days, 10 more than Lent, demonstrates its importance. And now we get ready to begin the sorrow and the joy that is going to lead us into this most holy of all of our seasons. So on this day, we remember again what Jesus does in helping us to be able to continue his message, to continue the gospel, to continue spreading the word, that life is changed forever because God has walked among us as Jesus of Nazareth, and because God has defeated sin and death by Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection. So too we can live lives that are not basically pawns of fate. We do not live lives that are basically just left up to chance. We live lives with purpose. We live lives with dignity. We live lives with a future and a destiny that is ours because it belongs to Christ. Unlike what some people sometimes like to think, this is not the feast of priests. This is not the feast of the priesthood. Again, Jesus basically shares a meal and tells his apostles to remember him by also sharing this meal. Who was at the Last Supper? Again, there is no guest list, as they say. And so if women accompanied Jesus, from Galilee down to Jerusalem, there is no reason why they would not have been present at the Last Supper. We remember the 11 and the 12, and then also with Judas, again, because perhaps it was dangerous, for women to be named among these individuals whose lives will be placed into jeopardy in many ways because of who they are going to become and what they're going to be asked to do in carrying on the message. It doesn't mean that the women weren't doing that. It means that they were not doing it, but not being named to do it because it was a way perhaps of protection. There are many paintings in which sometimes the Blessed Mother appears all of a sudden at the Last Supper. And if she can be there, so can anybody else. It is a meal for us to be able to share, to carry on this message. Priesthood basically just helps us to guide us in the understanding of it. But it is not meant for us basically to be for this day just to celebrate priests and whatnot. It is to celebrate us and this great gift that we have been given, being able to be people who can spread the gospel, who can proclaim the joy of resurrection, who can help each other recognize our destiny and our value and our worth as creations of God that st upright in the joy and the light of the coming resurrection. A blessed last final day of the season of Lent. I have my purple bowler on last time, of St. Francis and people of God, and also a blessed Triduum as we get ready to enter the glory of the Easter season. May the Lord give you his peace.